Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bahrain Now, your source of local initiatives, happenings, talents, and trends. I'm your host, Khalid Hijras, here to walk you through our exciting lineup of segments and personalities from around the Kingdom of Bahrain. So don't go away, we'll be right back. The program of learning disabilities at the Arabian Gulf University focuses on in-depth learning of theoretical and empirical aspects of learning disabilities, as well as diagnosing and treating them. The goal of the program of learning disabilities is to train experts in research, teaching assessment, and individual therapy, curriculum development, as well as systematic work in the field of learning disabilities. Furthermore, the university is working through the program to serve GCC society by improving scientific research methods and mechanisms, as well as providing individuals with the knowledge, skills, and competencies necessary for the advancements of inputs of education and training in the field of learning disabilities. And to talk more about the program and its field, we are pleased to be joined here today in the studio by two students and future doctors, Sakina Karimi and Ms. Yana El Khlewi. Welcome, how are you both doing today?
Hello, thank you for introducing us. We are good, fine.
It's such an honor to have you guys here and to talk about something so important as well. So first off, I'd like to ask you about what are the main goals and concepts behind the specialization of the Learning Disabilities program at AGU?
Our learning disability and developmental disorder program focus on understanding of cognitive and behavioral and social challenges. It prepare us as a professionals to use evidence-based strategies and technology to help individuals with autism spectrum disorder to be a part of a society and improve the quality of life.
Wonderfully said, and it's really great to see how holistic this is, especially taking into consideration the cognition, how to treat it, and as well how to I think education is a universal experience that we're all entitled to, right? And we all have the right to. So it's great to see you guys putting in the steps in order to facilitate education and ways of overcoming challenges that may be associated with autism spectrum disorder. And in your opinion, how important is vocational training in helping individuals with autism integrate into the workforce?
Yes, it is very important, as we have been working for a long time on early intervention, and as we can see in the field, we have a lot of early intervention centers, and I think it's the time for us to think about the youth, to think about their level or their what are they going to do after the early intervention. So vocational training is very important. It's for us. Let us think more about that and try to apply it on the real life, in the real life.
Wonderful, thank you so much for your answer. And what inspired you to focus on autism in particular?
Actually, I have an autistic son. He is all my life. I love him so much. That's why I chose to continue my studies in autism. And really, I need also to help individuals with autism to be looked at them as they are, because a child with autism is a child with autism. So autism is not a one experience, it's much more.
Absolutely, it's a spectrum, and like you said, and you probably see it with your son as well, God bless him. Autism doesn't manifest in one way, like you said, and it's great to see that you guys are taking that as well into consideration, because every child is different, and that same thing applies
Exactly.
even to children with autism. And
Yes.
again, bringing it back to that spectrum, because there tends to be a lot of misunderstandings about what autism actually is or what it looks like. So thank you so much for that answer, and thank you for the personal anecdote as well. And how did the skills taught in these vocational programs, particularly we're talking about like daily life and computer training, contribute to greater independence for such individuals?
Mm-hmm. Vocational training mostly is not about just doing a task or learning a job. It's more of like learning new skills, communication skills, independence skill, gaining confidence. So this is what vocational training should focus on most.
Absolutely. And how has the curriculum prepared you to work with individuals on the autism spectrum?
It's provided me with a very strong foundation of knowledge and tools to understand, to have this deeper understanding for autism and how to deal with individuals with autism, how we can teach them well. You know, there's a lot of individuals with autism that are not non-verbal, they can't speak well. So there's a special programs to get them on the level that they can like engage, they can have this social interaction with people. And this is the main goal.
Wonderful, because I think a lot of people also overlook that the social aspect of it as well. You know, it's obviously important for all of us as human beings to have social connections and our circles and everything, and that can be a challenge for some people, especially if they have something like autism. It can pose a huge problem. So, really, kudos to you for thinking as well about that part of it. Now. What can you tell us about your visit to the El Rashad Center for Autism, and how did it differ to the Hella Cafe?
Okay, so first of all, we went to Rashad Center, and then later on we went to Hella Cafe. These experiences at first they were amazing and impressive. At first we went to a Rashad Center, which is more like vocational training. We were able to see the students learning new skills, doing crafts, making like things out of nowhere, and having like classes, therapies. It was very amazing to see how much the students have become. And in Hala Cafe, the experience was different. We saw the students working in an environment. This environment was very supportive. We could see them actually making coffee, making conversations with the customers, taking orders. Some of them even welcomed us and introduced us to Hala Cafe and what they have. So it was really a great experience in both centers.
It's absolutely wonderful, and it must be so rewarding to see all of that progress like in person.
Yes.
And on that note, what role does fieldwork play in your academic journey, and how does it complement the theoretical side of your studies?
In my academic journey, I learned a lot about theory, research, how to practice, how to do different assessment and evaluation for kids. And really, I want to support, I hope to support schools, decision makers, parents, and especially students with autism to get to a higher place that they can be really a part of the society, and to have better life, to get jobs, maybe get married, maybe going to the experience that everyone can go.
Absolutely, and I think again that's very important, giving them that sense of normalcy that we all want. I think treating them again like they're no different to us, and they truly aren't. It's just a different approach, but at the end of the day, I think again breaking down that barrier, that stigma that some people have. Thankfully, I think in a place like the Kingdom of Bahrain we have a lot more awareness, but sadly, there is that stigma that still persists with some people. Yes. And I think it's great that you guys are working at breaking that down or giving alternate routes to make them capable to live, like you said, a full and normal life, no different to anybody else's. And now you guys have also done, you mentioned schools earlier, you guys have also done workshops with teachers on some of the social stories. How were those received?
Well, we have been to Al Fawzan Center in Al Khubar, Saudi Arabia. And we conducted a workshop, social stories, for the teachers. It was very amazing. The teachers loved the workshop, and it was mainly the goal is to provide a new program for the students in Al Fawzan Center and also in other centers, how to learn the social situations and settings through stories. So basically, we are making visual stories and training the autistic students through these social stories. The feedback was very positive, and they have requested to have more workshops. So yes, and we can do that. We also, one of our goals is to spread the awareness in the community and also in GCC. So it was a great experience.
Absolutely, and again, it's really great to see as well that you're bringing teachers into it, because I think teachers, I mean, it's probably one of the hardest jobs out there, right?
Yes.
You know, I mean, especially when you're dealing with younger children. Younger children especially can be a bit of a challenge, let alone, you know, so the teachers have their hands full anyways, so it's like understanding, you know, and I think that feeds back probably into like what you guys were talking about early intervention.
Yes.
You know, having a teacher who is able to identify when a student might be struggling, perhaps is dealing with autism, and knowing how to deal with it, you know. I think that that's vital. So congratulations to you guys on the success of that.
Thank you.
And now you guys have achieved some really amazing accolades throughout this journey, clearly. But I'm sure that there were some challenges along the way. What kind of challenges did you face, and how did you overcome them?
For me, I didn't have any challenges. I enjoy it very much. I enjoy every second. Because really I'm doing three roles in that. I am a parent, I am a specialist, I am a student, so I got a lot of information. I know now the autism, but in deeper level. So yeah, I enjoy it so much.
But I think one of the challenges is also the lack of awareness.
Yes.
So if we are dealing with people who are not that aware about this spectrum, it might be hard for us to do the task and the job. But the university has been very helpful, and they made us so easy for us.
Yeah, they supported us very well. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think in this day and age, especially because, you know, you guys have probably seen even on stuff like TikTok and everything, there's a lot of talk about autism, and there is some very good stuff talked on there, but the problem with user-generated content is that there's also a lot of misinformation.
Yes.
And I imagine that battling that, it's like you said, like the misunderstandings or the stigmas held by some people who don't know enough about autism. Like I can understand breaking that down. I imagine that maybe you have more of a difficulty with that than you do the actual children.
Yes.
So no, I completely, I can understand how that could be a hurdle, but I mean, just looking at what you guys are doing, I think you are making a great contribution in breaking down that preconceived notion. And how do these experiences as well, this field work, how does it help you grow as a professional in this field?
Well, we have to consider making better programs, spreading awareness about the spectrum. It is good that people are talking, but we want them to talk right. We want them to spread the proper information about the spectrum. Also, these centers that we are seeing that they are opening new centers, early intervention, it is good, but let us focus also on vocational training. So one of our goals as professionals is to empower the autistics to be more in the working environment.
Absolutely, and again, I just want to refocus again on the fact that, you know, the misinformation like we were talking about earlier, and I think it's really great that you guys get to see it from the point of view of professionals as well, because that gives you a better strategy moving forward, knowing, because if you know how misinformation is spread, if you know what kind of misinformation is spread, you can then refocus your efforts into breaking down those misconceptions. So, I have to say, I mean, from the fact that you guys are still doing your PhDs, and good luck, by the way, although I don't think you need it because you've already done, I think you guys bring the right attitude to it. You're acting as though you are already in the field. And what do you guys hope to achieve in the future? We've touched on this a bit earlier. I know how important it is to you personally. It is clearly something that you are both passionate about, but where do you see where do you see you guys in the future? What is the ideal?
Like I hope in the future that we have a lot of good opportunity for the individuals with autism in schools and college, on like work opportunity, because
mostly like inclusive community.
Yes.
Yes, to be able to, they have the right to learn. They have the rights for education, they have to work, they have to go on these experiences. So I think inclusive education.
Yeah.
purpose of education.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely correct. And you know, again, I've had the privilege of discussing this topic before, and I think a lot of people what they don't understand is that autism is not. It's not battling against it. You're working kind of with it, because it's not something to be stigmatized. It's just a difference in the way that some people think,
Exactly.
and how that translates into behavior. And I think you know this better than anyone, being you know, having your son, God bless him, who has autism. It's not really about, you know, you're not trying to battle something. You're kind of working with him more than anything, I imagine.
Yes.
And on that note, is there any final messages you'd like to give the audience?
Well, thank you for having us at first. This is part of spreading awareness, and big thanks to our university, our professors there, and hopefully we can have an inclusive community. We can be able to make them part of our community, either in education or later on their work life.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you very much for having us today, and it's our pleasure to be here and talk about autism specifically. And autism is very beautiful, and we just need to know what's autism and how to deal with the kids with autism. And I think will be like a very something inspiring for all the world. And thank you.
Inshallah.
Absolutely, and I want to thank you both for coming and having this really amazing talk with me. I feel like I learned a lot, and I'm sure our audience will as well, and we look forward to seeing what you guys will do next in the field.
Inshallah.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more here on Bahrain Now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of today's episode. As always, thank you for watching, and be sure to reach out to us on social media as shown below. We love to hear from you. This was Khalid Hidris, and until next time, good night and God bless.